thinking stopped and the animal took over. Animal, animal. This is what you've always been underneath the soldier. Animal, animal. No more holding back, no more measured response. Animal. Let the animal out. Hey. The bar loads heavy and the mind goes blank. No strategy, no plan, no rank. Just the body reading the weight and responding before the conscious mind starts pondering. This is the state you were designed for. Not the desk, not the screen, not the careful, but here with iron and gravity and sweat, where the animal has not given up yet. The overthinking dies at the door. The version that apologizes doesn't live here anymore. Something older takes the controls. The animal that iron always knows. Don't think, just move. Don't question, just prove. What lives beneath the civilized is the most alive. Animal, animal, animal. The thinking stopped and the animal took over. Animal, animal, animal. This is what you've always been underneath the soldier. Animal, animal. No more holding back, no more measured response. Animal, animal, loud. Animal, 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 loud. They tamed it for decades, fed it comfort and called it progress. But in this room the leash comes off and the animal remembers what it is. It doesn't need speeches or perfect conditions. It needs the bar, the floor, the resistance. And every rep is the animal confirming that it never needed your permission. The weight doesn't care about your mood. The floor doesn't care about your plan. The only thing that matters here is how animal you can. Animal, animal, animal. The thinking stopped and the animal took over. Animal, animal, animal. This is what you've always been underneath the soldier. Animal, animal. No more holding back, no more measured response. Animal, animal, loud. Animal, 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 loud. You think the animal is dangerous. You think it needs to be controlled, but the animal only destroys what never deserved to hold. The softness, the excuses, the ceiling you invented. Let the animal tear through all of it. Unrepented, unrestrained, unbroken. This is what you came here for. Animal, animal, animal. The thinking stopped and the animal took over. Animal, animal, animal. This is what you've always been underneath the soldier. Animal, animal. No holding back. Let the animal out. Let it out, out. Animal, animal, animal. This is what you are. Animal. Zero limit. Zero limit. They drew the line at a number. They said this is where it ends. They measured your maximum and told you not to pretend. But every number they gave you, you've already left behind. The limit is a moving target, and you're the one who moves the line. Every time you hit the ceiling gets rebuilt one floor above. Every time you said impossible, that this body can't give. I'll meet every limit and I'll raise it again. Zero limit isn't motivation, it's just where I've been. Every rep past failure, every set past done, every morning past exhaustion is zero limit one. Zero limit, zero limit. There is no ceiling on this. Zero limit. Every wall becomes the floor. Zero limit. You are the proof. You are the evidence. Zero limit. Zero limit. Dark fuel, running on something that doesn't have a name. Dark fuel, long past the point where the normal fuel became flame. Dark fuel, this is what moves when everything else is gone. Dark fuel, dark fuel keeps you on. Pre-workout wore off an hour ago. The motivation speech is old and slow. The music is background, the logic is gone, but the body is still moving and the sets carry on. What is this thing that operates past empty? What is the source when the sources run dry? It has no label, it has no ingredient list. It's just a part of you that refuses to die. They call it heart, they call it will, I call it darker. It lives below the discipline, down where it gets harder. Not energy, not drive, just a dark fuel keeping the engine alive. Dark fuel, running on something that doesn't have a name. Dark fuel, long past the point where the normal fuel became flame. Dark fuel, this is what moves when everything else is gone. Dark fuel keeps you on. I've seen men quit at the reasonable limit. I've watched them stop when the body said stop. They were running on daylight fuel, and daylight fuel eventually drops. But the man who finds the dark fuel underneath operates after sunset, operates after the logic runs out, operates after everything safe has been spent. And this isn't healthy, this isn't balance, this is the edge where the real lives. The dark fuel doesn't care about balance, it only cares about what you give. Dark fuel, running on something that doesn't have a name. Dark fuel, long past the point where the normal fuel became flame. Dark fuel, this is what moves when everything else is gone. Dark fuel keeps you on. You'll recognize it when it kicks in, the second wind that has no logical source, the set you had no business finishing, that finished itself by force. There was a dark fuel, there was the thing below, that was the version of you that the comfortable version doesn't know. Dark fuel, running on something that doesn't have a name. Dark fuel, long past the point where the normal fuel version has to step aside and drop. Where the rep count becomes irrelevant, where the program leaves the room, and the only thing that matters is how much you can consume of the burning, of the shaking, of the weight that wants to kill, of the version of this exercise that tests if you have the will to stay under it, to push through it, to make this the set that defines it. No count, no plan, just the bar and the man. Savage said, the one where you leave everything on the floor. Savage said, the one where the control version is no more. Savage said, every session needs one set that's pure. Savage said. I don't remember how many reps. I stopped counting 3 sets in. I only know the bar went up every time I decided to begin. Again past the point of reason, again past the comfortable edge. The savage set doesn't know moderation, it only knows the ledge. The drop set after failure, the force rep after done. The savage set is not scheduled. The savage set is one. Savage set, the one where you leave everything on the floor. Savage set, the one where the control version is no more. Savage said, every session needs one set that's pure. Savage said, savage. They'll watch the video, they'll count the visible reps, they won't see the savage said. They'll only see what's left, the aftermath, the shaking, the chalk, and the sweat on the floor. They won't know what happened here, but the iron always keeps the score. Savage, this is the set that separates. Savage, this is what you came for. Savage said, the one where you leave everything on the floor. Savage said, the one where the control version never existed. Savage said, raw force. Not technique, not method, just raw force. The undiluted version is the real source. Raw force. Strip everything back to the fundamental. Raw force. Before the program, before the coach, before the optimal angle and the form, there was a man and a heavy object, and the need to move, it was the norm. That's what this is at the core, under the science and the system, a body weight and the will to push. That's all you need for this to listen. They refine the movement, they'll optimize the path, but the system, strip the method. What remains is raw force, undiluted raw force. Raw force, not technique, not method, just raw force. Raw force, raw force, raw force. The undiluted version is the real source. Raw force, strip everything back to the fundamental. Raw force, raw force, raw force. I've been coached, I've been corrected, I've been told the better way. But when the weight gets truly heavy, raw force is what stays. Not the textbook, not the video, not the QM and the Q. Just the body generating maximum output. That's the raw force coming through. It's not pretty, it's not photogenic. It's the white knuckle and the shake. It's the rep that barely move the bar, that still move for the raw force sake. Raw force, not technique, not method, just raw force. Raw force, raw force. The undiluted version is the real source. Raw force, strip everything back to the fundamental. Raw force, raw force. Technique gets you far, raw force gets you through. When technique runs out, raw force is what's true. The last rep isn't technical, the last rep is a war. The raw force answer to the heavy question is what the raw force is for. Raw force, not technique, not method, just raw force. Raw force, the undiluted version is the source. Raw force, strip everything back. Raw force, raw force. Undiluted raw force. This is what you have. Raw force. This is what you have. Raw force. Raw force. Iron and blood. Iron and blood. This is the equation. Everything that's worth having has a price paid in iron and blood. Not metaphor, not motivational poster. Actual iron, actual blood. The calluses that split open, the chalk that burns the wound, the bar that leaves the bruise in the shape of what you pursued. This is the oldest transaction, man in resistance since the start. You bring the blood and the iron brings the art of shaping you, changing you, making you into what the iron and blood produce. No iron, no change, no blood, no gain. This is the cost, this is the exchange. Iron blood, the gym is always run on iron blood. Iron blood, not inspiration, not the hashtag flood. Iron blood, this is the currency. Iron blood, iron blood. The hands that built the body you respect were torn before they were callous. The back that carried is what others can't. Bled before was flawless. There's no version of the finished product that didn't come through the iron blood cost. Every physique you've ever admired was purchased, not found, not taught. I pay it every session, I put it on the bar. The iron blood transaction is what makes the difference. Iron blood, iron blood. The gym has always run on iron blood. Iron blood, iron blood. Not inspiration, not the hashtag flood. Iron blood, this is the currency. Iron blood, iron blood. They'll see the muscle, they won't see the iron blood behind it. They'll see the strength, they won't know the cost that signed it. But the bar knows, the floor knows, the chalk cloud in the air knows. Every drop of iron blood you paid is what the finished version shows. Iron blood. The gym has always run on iron blood. Iron blood, iron blood. This is what everything is made of. Iron blood, iron blood. Pay it every session, pay it every rep. Iron blood, iron and blood, iron and blood. This is the equation. Iron blood. No ceiling, no ceiling. There is no roof on what this can become. No ceiling, no ceiling. The upper limit ran when this had just begun. No ceiling, no ceiling. Every level you reach becomes the floor. No ceiling, no ceiling, no ceiling. There's always more. Someone built a ceiling in a room you used to live in. They measured your capacity and gave you a wall to believe in. But you've been breaking through ceilings since the first time you picked up the weight. And every room you break into has a higher ceiling to navigate. The ceiling of last year is the floor of this one. The ceiling of last month you broke through before it was done. Keep building, keep breaking. The ceiling is not the end, it's just the beginning of the next ascent. Every ceiling is a floor, every wall is a door. No ceiling, only more. No ceiling, no ceiling. There is no roof on what this can become. No ceiling, no ceiling. The upper limit ran when this had just begun. No ceiling, no ceiling. Every level you reach becomes the floor. No ceiling, no ceiling, no ceiling. There's always more. The men who believe in ceilings live exactly at the line they drew. The men who ignore the ceiling live in spaces no one knew. We're possible, we're reachable, we're standing on the other side of every ceiling that the comfortable were too certain to divide. I don't see ceilings anymore, I see the next floor. I don't see limits anymore, I see the next door. No ceiling, there is no roof on keep climbing. No ceiling, always more. No ceiling. One more. One more. Last breath. One more. The oxygen ran out 3 reps ago. The lungs sent the signal to stop. The arm sent the message to the brain that the output had reached the top. But there's a place below the signal, below the rational report, where the last breath lives and the space we're giving up falls short. It's not a breath, it's a decision made in the fraction before the fall. The last breath is the inhale before you answer the final call of the bar, of the floor, of the session that demands every last breath in your hands. Past the signal, past the limit. The last breath is where the real lives in it. Last breath, the rep you had no business finishing. Last breath, the moment between stopping and beginning. The last push, last breath, this is where the ordinary stops. And the last breath carries what the body drops. Last breath. I've been here before, I know this place. The tunnel where the vision narrows, the set that turns the world to white, the rep that tests the marrow. Everything is audible, the breathing and the bar and the shake. This is not a gym anymore. This is the last breath at stake. The last breath never feels like the last until after it's done. You don't know it was the last breath until the breath has won. Last breath, the rep you had no business finishing. Last breath, the moment between stopping and beginning. The last push, last breath, this is where the ordinary stops. And the last breath carries what the body drives. Last breath, don't take the easy breath, don't take the breath that stops the set. The last breath isn't the end, it's the debt you owe to the version you came here to find. The last breath is the moment the body outruns the mind. One last breath, one last push, one last breath. Last breath, the rep you had no business finishing. Last breath, the moment that the ordinary stops. At last breath, this is where you find what you're made of. Last breath, last breath, one more. Last breath. pure rage. Controlled and channeled into every single rep. Pure rage, pure rage. The cleanest fuel that hasn't failed you yet. Pure rage, pure rage. Not destruction, not explosion, just direction. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. There's a difference between rage that destroys and rage that builds the thing. The destructive version burns the room. The constructive version is everything. The iron is the channel. The rep is the redirect. Every frustration, every anger gets converted into reps. You don't lose the rage in here. You find a use for it. The gym is the translation from raw feeling into fit. Pure rage purified into the cleanest form of fuel. The bar is the converter, and the rep is the renewal. Not explosion, not destruction. Pure rage and pure output out. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. Controlled and channeled into every single rip. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. The cleanest fuel that hasn't failed you yet. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. Not destruction, not explosion, just direction. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. Everything that made you angry this week lives in the bar right now. Every moment that demanded patience gets its answer somehow. Here in the pure rage translation, here in the channeled fire, here in the place where frustration becomes the thing you most desire. The output of an obsession is the purified remain of every raw emotion turned from fuel to gain. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. Controlled and channeled into every single rip. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. The cleanest fuel that hasn't failed you yet. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. Not destruction, not explosion, just direction. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. They think rage is wasted energy. They think it burns without return. But the rage that finds the iron is the rage that makes you burn in the right direction, at the right resistance. Pure rage is not the enemy, it's the fuel for the distance. Channel it, direct it, load it on the bar. Pure rage is the cleanest version of everything you are. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. Controlled and channeled into every single rip. Pure rage, pure rage, pure rage. The cleanest fuel that has reborn. Reborn. What walked in is not what walks out. The man who walked in this morning is not the man who's leaving now. Something happened between the first rep and the last breath somehow. The session isn't just exercise. The session is a conversion from the version that arrived to the reborn version. The difference in the feel. Walking in with yesterday's weight, walking out with something cleared. The gym does something to a man that can't be engineered. Not the same, not the man from before. Reborn on the gym floor. But the man who shows up every session gets a different kind of gift. Not just the muscle and the strength, but the identity that forms when you keep returning to the iron through every version of the storm. I've been reborn so many times in this same room, on this same floor, that I barely recognize the man I was before. They'll ask what changed. You won't have the language. The gym creates a man that words can't quite manage to describe to the ones who've never been inside. The reborn feeling after the session survived. Every session is a death of the version that arrived, and a birth of the version that the iron keeps alive. Reborn every time.